let's just hypothetically say we're going into an interview, or we're going into a presentation with a company. Totally different scenarios, but what are some like general insights or tips that you give your clients as to best practices in those scenarios? Just out of curiosity.
A big part of the charisma formula is right before a presentation, introduce yourself and genuinely connect with at least 10 people. So what I mean by that, that's the very first tip I give. I mean, if you're in a virtual meeting, if you're even in an in-person meeting, get on early so you can work out all the sound and your presentation logistics. And then as people come in, you get to know them as human beings. You connect human to human. You introduce yourself, you say, hey, I love your shirt, or man, those shoes are awesome. Or just, I love your glasses. Just pay them compliments, sincere compliments. Why? It primes the audience, just like priming a pump. You're priming the audience, you're priming your own charisma. You're priming their trust in you. And then so when your presentation starts, what happens? You've already got a group out there that trusts you. They find you charismatic. They find you confident. And then you're able to go in there. So that's number one. It's the very first thing I tell my people to do. Then the second thing is this. Don't stand behind a podium if there is one. If you're on, so podium and the camera on a virtual call are one and the same. Why? Because the camera, if it's turned off, you can't see the audience's facial expressions. You can't see my facial expressions. You can't see the human piece, because 80% of our communication, Dev, is nonverbal. 80% of our communication is nonverbal. So if our camera is off, you're only using 20% of your communication potential. If you're standing behind a podium, guess what? You're only seeing just a chunk of our communication potential. So I say, don't hide behind the podium, and make sure your camera's on. And then also make sure that your audience's cameras are on if it's virtual. The third thing is eye contact catalyst. It's even before the words. Do you see what I'm saying? All of these are non-verbal. And I have to start with the non-verbals because we communicate more with our non-verbals. So it's eye contact. I call it eye connection, where as you're presenting, you spend 2 to 3 seconds making eye contact with people as you're speaking. And it's a very difficult thing to do, Dev, to teach yourself, but you've got to like maintain eye contact with someone for 3 to 5 seconds, because that's psychologically proven to create trust, and you move around the room to do it. So all those, right, are nonverbal, but they're the key to trust in priming your audience, in them retaining you, in them perceiving you as a competent, credible individual and speaker. Those are my top 3 things, and I'm so happy to share it even with your listeners. In fact, if you're listening, go try it and then watch what happens. Watch what happens. The level or the cadence of trust in the entire meeting is going to skyrocket. It's one of the coolest things to see and observe.